Okay, darf ich einmal mehr hier herzlich willkommen heißen. Danke an Trainer und Geschäftsführer Sport auch für die Zeit. In wenigen Tagen geht es quasi neu los. Restart der Meisterschaft mit dem nächsten Duell gegen Salzburg. Darf als erster Markus Katzer fragen, Mackie, ein bisschen einen Ausblick bitte von dir, auch nicht nur auf dieses Spiel, sondern auf die Meistergruppe, und vielleicht interessiert viele, wie groß war auch der Stein, der dir vom Herzen gefallen ist, dass da am letzten Sonntag dieser wichtige Sieg gegen Salzburg gelungen ist.
Ja, es war natürlich ein schöner Tag, überhaupt, weil wir dann den mit einem Sieg krönen haben können am letzten Spiel, was auch wichtig für uns war. Ich habe das im Interview nach dem Spiel gesagt, es ist einfach immer anders, wenn du das Spiel gewinnst, als vielleicht noch zum Schluss dann einen Ausgleich kriegst. Ich weiß, wie sehr das einen Impact auf die Mannschaft hatte die letzten Wochen. Trotzdem muss man der Mannschaft auch im Trainerteam gratulieren, wie die dann in der Phase einfach auch damit umgegangen sind und haben einfach dann auch in den entscheidenden Spielen die nötigen Punkte geholt. Ich glaube, dass wir auch gegen Alltag schon uns verdient gehabt hätten, dass wir die vollen 3 Punkte holen. Das ist uns leider noch nicht geglückt, und umso schöner ist es dann, wenn man dann zu Hause gegen Red Bull Salzburg dann den Sack zumacht und das wirklich mit einem eigenen Sieg dann in die Meistergruppe kommt. Jetzt ist natürlich vieles möglich, wenn man auf die Tabelle schaut. Unser Ziel ist es, dass wir einen Europacup-Startplatz für eine Qualifikation schaffen. Das ist ganz klar. Und weiter wollen wir uns da jetzt auch nicht dazu äußern. Wichtig ist, dass man einfach sieht und diesen Schwung jetzt auch mitnimmt aus den letzten 3 Spielen. Ich glaube, dass das auch für die Mannschaft so ein bisschen ein Befreiungsschlag sein wird und war. Und ich hoffe, dass wir den Schwung einfach jetzt auch in die Meistergruppe mitnehmen, und jetzt freuen wir uns auf das Spiel am Sonntag.
Dankeschön. Coach, also to you. How different was this week for you to work after this important game on last Sunday, and also already Mackie said it, the last 3 games, 2 victories, 1 draw. So is there much more confidence for your players, for your team?
Yeah, you know me. I think we don't change according to necessarily results. I know it's a big thing for the club. It was a big thing for the players and everyone around the team that we achieved what we did. But the preparation has been exactly the same, and the thing that we do every day is exactly the same. What I can see is that probably it's a little bit more confidence in the group. There's a little bit more belief on own qualities, team qualities. But end of the day, it doesn't change our approach at all. We just have to again focus on what we do every day, and have to be our absolute best every single day. And then the results, they will probably take care of itself.
It's the first time that, as a repeat coach, you have an opponent the second time with Salzburg. Do you expect a completely different game because it's away, or could it be very similar?
I think there will be some similarities in the game. I think we know what they can do. We have seen a lot of games from them, obviously, and they can do changes, but they stick to their principles in what they do. We have to make sure that we close it down as much as possible, but also see if we can get a game that is a little bit more on our strengths as well. I praise the group of players for the hard work and the defensive work and the discipline and all that stuff, but we also have to see if we can create a game Sunday that is more on our strengths, and see if we can be more on the front foot when we are pressing, and also have to create more chances.
Thank you. Bevor ich zu euren Fragen komme, noch kurzer Hinweis. Wir erwarten einen ausverkauften Gästesektor in Salzburg, das sind rund 1500. Und für das erste Heimspiel in der Meistergruppe dann gegen den LASK läuft auch bereits der Vorverkauf, beziehungsweise gibt es seit Montag auch Abos für die 5 Heimspiele im Finaldurchgang für die bei allen 5 Spielen geöffneten Sektoren. Und dann bitte gerne um eure Fragen, wie immer, kurzes Handzeichen, und Flo bringt euch gerne das Mikrofon.
Bitte, Rainer. Coach, you said there will be similarities on Sunday to the last game, but of course you had the troubles here in Hütteldorf in Vienna. Now they have troubles in Salzburg. How do you expect the Salzburg team? 3 games without scoring is pretty unique for Red Bull. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can more or less go back to the last press conference we made in here, and was it doesn't really matter for me. What matters for me is how they play and how we can show our strengths against that. We know it's a good team, and they also showed their qualities last Sunday, even though they didn't score. So we have to be efficient when defending and be very, very clear in how we defend. Like I said, I also want us to be a little bit more aggressive in the high pressing against them, because it is a quality team. So we take a lot of learnings from the games we played last time, but I don't care too much about pressure and stuff like that, because I believe that internally in a club you only focus on what you can really affect, and that's your next performance, and I will expect them to focus on that.
What makes you confident that you can create more chances than you made last week? Because you get rid of the pressure, or the negative pressure. Now it's a positive pressure.
Yeah, because we have discussed it a couple of times. That I think one of my biggest roles to begin with here was to try to take that pressure off the shoulders of the players, because I could feel it, we could feel it. So hopefully that will be a change. Then we have even more learning now, because we played just recently against them. So we have to take a lot out of that game and find out how we can use it in our favor. So we have to be more offensive minded in our approach. So I'm confident we can do it, because as I've seen the players, I've seen how they train, I've seen how they prepare, and with the achievement so far, I think that could be the push in the direction that we need to really start to develop this team.
Dankeschön. Bitte Flo Hasselmeier für die Austria Presseagentur.
Coach, is there any changes to the squad? Obviously, Nuno is out with another injury. Is there any other changes in the squad that you expect? And what's the situation, for example, the fitness level of Petano Sadal? Is he ready for more minutes?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, he is. He is ready for more minutes. Obviously, we have some players returning to the team again. Romeo Armane is back in the group after the suspension, so a potential starter. We have tried some different things this weekend, still within our principles, so we stick to what we have started with this group, and we don't want to change too much. But of course, every game is its own game plan that we have to prepare for that. So we try to find the best players suited for the way that we want to play, with not too many changes, but obviously there will be some changes with Nuno out with an injury, and we have to find out who we think can take the role we need instead of Nuno the best possible way. And yeah, potentially more changes. We haven't decided yet, because we have tried some different things in training the last couple of days, and then we take a decision. Probably tomorrow.
Bitte, Peter.
Is Bullen back again, or is he out?
Maybe.
Back or out?
We tried to get him back in training. He's been with us in training this week. Whether it's enough, we have to see on Sunday, whether he'll be 100% fit for the game. But he's back in training.
Dankeschön. Frage, ob wir es nicht verstanden, aber noch Wendegus Spolla. Bitte, Flo.
The amount of injuries, it looks like every week there is another player with different kinds of problems. Do you see any kind of systematic problem, or is there what do you make of it? Can you tackle the problem somehow? Do you have an idea how to probably handle the squad in this way?
Yeah, there's two things, which is the things that we're looking at. First of all, we need to get the group of players up to even higher intensity in the games. So that takes probably a little bit different approach in training. We have to find the balance, how much we can push them and how much we also have to keep them fresh and with energy for the games. But that is something we have to change over time. Then the next thing is, of course, how do we handle the load and the data from every player, from every training, from every game? And I see there's some things that we can improve and have to improve. So everything is about timing. It's not necessarily about manpower or different roles for people, but it's about how we use the information that we actually got. And I think I have some solutions to how we handle that, and we try to integrate it now. But it's also something that takes time, and you cannot measure the results after a couple of weeks. It has to be over a longer time. But the fact is that there's too many injuries, and it's not been the last couple of weeks. It's not been the last couple of months. It's been the last couple of seasons, and that is something we definitely have to change.
Danke. Mecki, magst du da vielleicht was ergänzen?
Ja, das ist ein bisschen ein Thema, was uns begleitet, gerade auch was die Offensivspieler betrifft, wenn man sich jetzt die letzten Jahre oder die letzten Saisonen einfach anschaut. Wir haben viele Dinge verändert jetzt auch. Wir haben auch geschaut, dass wir mit Alexander Steinbächler, mit unserem Head of Performance, den noch näher ans Team holt, um einfach auch diese Daten auszuwerten, woran es dann am Ende liegen könnte, wie viel Belastung wir haben, das dann noch detaillierter zu analysieren und sich anzuschauen, um einfach in Zukunft die Spieler mehr zur Verfügung haben, weil das halt dann auch ein Faktor ist, auch wenn man dann in diesen Phasen, wo es dann nicht so rennt, dann auf viele andere Dinge schaut, aber das ist einfach ein Riesenfaktor, ob du in einer Saison erfolgreich sein kannst oder nicht.
Danke. Flog ganz hinten der Klaus Schlammadinger hat sich schon länger gemeldet und den wir sehen, hinter der Kamera.
Eine Frage an den Mecki. Du hast nach dem Alltagsspiel gemeint, ohne VAR wären wir schon in der Meistergruppe. Jetzt kann man sagen, wegen dem VAR seid ihr in der Meistergruppe. Bist du jetzt versöhnt mit dem VAR und kurz deine Gefühlswelt rund um diese 91. Minute?
Ja, also ich würde jetzt lügen, wenn ich sage, es ist mir kein Stein von Herzen gefallen. Es ist klar, das ist jedem Rapidler und jeder Rapidlerin genauso gegangen. Wenn du so ein Finalspiel hast, wo du vorher nicht weißt, ob du in die Top 6 bist oder nicht. Ich glaube prinzipiell, dass der VAR eine gute Sache ist. Was ich halt bekrittelt habe, ist, wenn es dann eine Entscheidung gibt, die eigentlich falsch ist, wo auch der Kollege sagt, er soll sich's anschauen, weil es falsch ist, und man dann rausgeht und dann trotzdem beharrt auf dieser vermeintlich nicht richtigen Entscheidung. Das habe ich halt in Frage gestellt. Das finde ich schade. Überhaupt, wenn der VAR dann ein paar Tage später dann zugibt, dass es ein Fehler war, weil dann ist es auch klar, dass da ein Fehler passiert ist. Fehler passieren im Fußball, viele Spieler machen Fehler, Sportdirektoren machen Fehler. Das ist ein Fehlersport, ja, aber man hat dadurch Unterstützung, um einfach diese Fehler zu minimieren oder zu vermeiden. Das war alles, was ich gesagt habe, und prinzipiell finde ich, dass der VAR eine gute Sache ist.
Und ist, denke ich, auch ein Paradebeispiel für die Sinnhaftigkeit eines VAR, dass er diese komplexe Abseitssituation aufgelöst hat.
Ich glaube, es ist ganz schwierig zu sehen. Wir haben auch dreimal hinschauen müssen, um herauszufinden, ob er jetzt abseits war oder nicht. Das war natürlich eine Riesenhilfe in der Situation, weil es einfach schwierig zu erkennen war.
What was the question?
The question about the last question about the decision from the video assistant referee in the 91st minute, I think, that it was offside because Mecki said it was difficult to see, and the 1-1, which wasn't the 1-1. How did you see it?
Very easy.
I thought it.
It's a clear offside. There's no discussion. It would have been another big mistake if we didn't have changed that. So luckily they did.
I knew it because you told me that directly after the final whistle. Was his tactics that the goalkeeper was?
I cannot tell you that.
Bitte, Flo.
Coach said you won't change your approach a lot. Still, you had a tactical different formation against Salzburg with 3 at the back, with 3 central defenders. It's the first part of the question. Is it possible to stick with that? And the second one is, as it's now very close in the standings, suddenly you can overtake Salzburg in the standings with the win on Sunday. Does it feels a little bit strange though after the last couple of weeks. But what do you think does it do with your team? This chance and this new chance.
Yeah, to your first question, the decision was simply because we could see that we had more central defenders and defensive players available. We didn't have too many midfielders available for the game with the Martin N.C. injury, the Louis Schaub injury, the suspension for Romeo. So there was not too many midfielders available for the game. So we decided to change a little bit. You know, formations can change, and we don't change our principles or how we want to create chances or defend. It's the same, but formations can change. And I think I have to, as a coach, look at the players available and then find the best possible positions for them. So that was the case. Now we have, especially with Romeo, one more midfielder at least back in the group. So that could potentially mean a change. Like I said, we decide probably tomorrow what the game plan will be. But that's the main thoughts for me, because I don't think I'll never just stick to a formation just because I believe in it. I simply have to look at the players available and where the players are best, and that can change. But the way we work with our principles in training and games will never change. And then for your second question, it's a media thing. I think it's a fan thing, which is really, really fair, because that's also what fans, they live off those discussions. Where can we end? Where can we go? What can we achieve? All these kinds of things. Our ultimate goal is to be as good as we can possibly be. We have to develop our performances. We have to be better as a team when we play the games. But I don't think creating a target on the players saying we have to achieve this or that, that's not the direction we have to go, because we're still improving as a team, we're still developing as a team, and we still have many things to learn and understand before we can be, in my opinion, competitive game after game after game after game. Does it mean that we cannot win on Sunday? No, it doesn't, because the league is so tight. And I think the only right approach for us is just to focus on the next performance and really do our best to make it a good performance again, and hopefully thereby also a good result. But the rest of it, you said it yourself. There's been a lot of negative thoughts and articles and opinions, and because there's a line to be drawn after 22 games, then all the media fuss, it starts, and all the stories, they start. We in a football club, we just work day by day and week by week.
Bitte, Alex Uhr.
Coach, I know you don't want to talk too much about pressure, but sometimes there are, look into the history, some helpful moments. The last 2 years, Rapid had the same pressure on the 22nd match, and after that, everybody said, "Oh, it was tight, but we did it." And then everybody thought maybe it will become better, but it was in the other way. The first round of the Meistergruppe was not successful. Last year it was against Salzburg. It was I remember Coach Klaus said we didn't have energy. For what reason? I don't know. And the year before it was a bad game against Lask, which was not the best team in these days. So do you think about what to talk about the players now when everybody says, "Oh, the pressure is away"?
Yeah, as you say, you know me. There will always be pressure in football. The pressure will never go away. So first is you have to understand what it is. You have to find out do you appreciate it? Can you do your job, knowing that there's pressure? And if not, then probably the football business is not for you, because it will be there. No matter if we are top 6, if we're not top 6, if we qualify for Europe, if we don't qualify for Europe, whatever position, there will always be pressure, because it will be created by the media stories, but we also put pressure on ourselves. And that's probably where the biggest pressure is. Because we didn't step into the room the day after the Salzburg game and were opening the champagne bottles and were just celebrating for a lot of days. No, we were focused on the next task. And like I said to media, like I said to the players after the Salzburg game, I think it was outstanding from the players in terms of hard work and fight and team performance and absolutely no egos on the pitch. Everyone willing to do their maximum and probably even more than that. But also have bigger expectations on behalf of our performance level. So that's where we started this week. That this is not, we are not in top 6 just because we want to see how it is. No, we are there because we need to improve the team. And it's in all areas, in all aspects of the game. And that was where we started this week. Of course, can we expect just to win every single game? No, we cannot, because it's now 10 games against the other 5 best teams in Austria. So all of the games will be tight. We will probably lose some games, we will win some games, there'll be some draws. But end of the day, we have to develop the team performance and the level so we consistently get better and better and better. So the problem in football is that when you lose a game, it takes a lot of time to get it out of the system. When you win a game, it takes you 5 minutes and then you're on to the next one. And that was the approach we had from this week.
Another question about the players. When you came to the club, maybe you had about your analysis of all the video matches, some expectations. Are there players, maybe you will say a name or not, are there players who surprised you the last weeks?
Yeah, there's a couple of players, because naturally you talk about when you step into games that are very, very decisive, that you need experience. I need some players who have tried it before. But I think we looked at training level and we looked at performance level and actually saw, which I'm used to also seeing in my previous clubs, is that it's not always experience that will take you through. Sometimes it's that, young freshness, stepping into a new environment and just having everything to win and want to show the whole world what you can do. And you probably know who I'm talking about. And I'm sad on his behalf that he's now out for some weeks. But he was a big thing for us in terms of getting to a higher performance level and having, scored goals and making assists in decisive moments for us. And he didn't have the experience. But he joined the group with new energy and freshness and this young spirit that you sometimes also need to have in a team. So yeah, definitely some surprises, and he's not the only one.
Trainer, bueno, ja, bitte, erste Reihe, Trainer.
Of course, you won't say for the public what's the goal of the team, but isn't it necessary to have a goal for the team? Of course, you can't say in the public you will win the championship or whatever, but it's necessary to get rid of the energy in the team. So did you named a goal?
Yeah, I understand what you say, but I believe that the driver in a team is about the culture that we create together and the performance in the training sessions and in the preparation every day. That should be the driver as an athlete. And then, of course, the ultimate goal for that is to win. But that's for every club. I would be very, very disappointed if there's a club playing football that don't play to win. So what is the ultimate goal? Everyone knows that. But it starts with the two things I mentioned. And that's where we have to start. I simply don't believe we can achieve absolutely anything if we don't start with culture, environment, performance. That's the foundation for everything we do. And there's been done many good things here in the club, but I can also see that's where we can take steps. And this is in this part of the game. So no, I don't focus on too much of the table. I don't put up the table in front of the players and say we have to go here and here and here, because end of the day, if you want to go all the way, then you have to focus on what you do today.
The away section will be sold out, what we heard in Salzburg. What's your message to the fans? Because of course, last game wasn't possible, but before against Wolfsburg and in Altach, there was boycott, no support at all. What to expect from the fans on Sunday? Everything over? A new start for the fans as well? Do you have a message, a meeting, maybe with the leaders of the fan groups?
Yeah, I know some from the club have had meetings. I've not been a part of them. I've focused on the team. There was a lot to do. I think, and that's where we see it as a group. That's for me, it's a fresh start. It's a new start. We will love to play in front of a home crowd that support us for 90 minutes. with a full stadium every time. The other day it was not a full stadium, but there was still very, very good support in many ways. But it was also the other day for us to probably create that new start where we have to appreciate each other. And we have to appreciate each other whether we win or lose. But that's how it is to be in a football club, because otherwise it's not possible.
The boss does it.
What was your question? Yeah, it is important, because I think it can probably give us, end of the day, can give us points. And I think a part of the support, or a lot of the support we got Sunday from the fans that were there, lifted the team the last 10 minutes. And that give a team points. A full stadium will probably and hopefully give even more points. So I always hope that they are there to support us. Like I said a couple of times, I also understand why they have been frustrated with the situation. So it's not like I cannot understand the situation. But I always hope for, when they are there, that they support us no matter how the game goes. Because a team will benefit from that, no matter what.
Bitte, Flo.
Ich hätte nur eine Frage zu den Planungen. Jetzt ist es beim Yannis Antist gelungen, eben die Kaufpflicht wegzuverhandeln mit Sassuolo. Gibt es trotzdem Bestrebungen, dass er vielleicht im Sommer auf andere Art und Weise erhalten bleibt? Und vielleicht, wenn wir bei den Sturmkollegen bleiben, der Andi Weimann, wie ist der Austausch mit ihm, wie ist der Status, was vielleicht eben ein längeres Engagement betrifft? Was kannst du momentan dazu sagen zu den beiden Personalien?
Ja, bis jetzt kann man sich vorstellen, dass die Planungen nicht einfach waren, wenn man nicht weiß, ob man auf welchem Platz man am Ende sein kann, ja, ob man unter die ersten 6 sein kann oder es andersrum ist. Das war natürlich schwierig. Wir haben natürlich ständig verschiedene Szenarien schon durchgedacht. Fakt ist, dass da Andi Weimann einfach jetzt für die Mannschaft eine Riesenverstärkung war, jetzt nicht nur auf der spielerischen und auf der Erfahrungsseite, sondern einfach auch mit seiner Persönlichkeit so ein Puzzlestück war, was uns ein Stück weit in vielen Spielen einfach auch gefehlt hat. Macht das sehr, sehr gut, wir können uns das natürlich vorstellen, ja, dass er auch nächste Saison da ist, aber trotzdem will ich nicht vorweggreifen. Wir haben jetzt ganz viele wichtige Spiele, viele enge Spiele zu tun, und ich würde einfach die Situation offen lassen, aber wir haben einen sehr, sehr guten Austausch mit ihm selber. Er ist ein richtig, richtig feiner Typ, mit dem er sehr, sehr gerne spricht. Viele Gespräche dazwischen gehabt, und es ist auf jeden Fall eine Möglichkeit und Option auch für nächste Saison. Und beim Jan ist es so, dass wir auch die Möglichkeit hätten, dass er über die Saison hinaus bei uns bleibt. Und da wird man einfach schauen, wie sich es jetzt in den nächsten Wochen entwickelt. Das kann man jetzt nicht nach einem gespielten Spiel sagen, sondern in Wahrheit startet der ja erst jetzt bzw. letzten Sonntag. Und man sieht ja auch, wie wichtig es war, dass wir da eine Lösung gefunden haben, weil er einfach ein wichtiger Spieler ist und auch schon gerade am Anfang der Saison noch viele Tore gemacht hat oder aufgelegt oder viele Torbeteiligungen hatte, die einfach entscheidend waren.
Bitte, Flo.
Spielt es eine Rolle vielleicht, dass man sie gleichzeitig auch, also bevor man solche Entscheidungen trifft, abgangsseitig halt irgendwie Möglichkeiten überlegt, was im Sommer der ein oder andere, der den Club eben verlassen könnte? Ist das was zuerst passieren muss, oder wie ist das, wie gehst du das an? Bevor man quasi wen dazu holt, quasi auf die Payroll.
Ja, man muss natürlich verschiedenste und mehrere Szenarien einfach durchdenken und durchplanen, das ist klar. Man muss sehr, sehr flexibel sein, man muss sehr, sehr spontan sein, aber eins ist ganz klar, man muss immer gut vorbereitet sein. Und wir sind immer sehr, sehr gut vorbereitet, auch wenn Transfers dann am Ende von uns weg passiert sind, waren wir immer sehr, sehr schnell, auch mit einem Ersatz, und haben immer reagieren können. Das Wichtigste ist, dass man einfach bestmöglich vorbereitet ist, und das werden wir auch in dem Sommer wieder sein.
Vielen Dank. Gibt es noch eine letzte Frage, weil dann würden wir beenden. Markus hat noch einen Termin und hat netterweise noch angehängt bei uns. Gibt es noch eine Question an den Coach oder Wenn nicht, dann ganz kurz noch mal der Hinweis, Sonntag bereits 14:30 Ankick, Early Kickoff against Salzburg, not the usual time. Und morgen bereits Rapid 2 im Allianzstadion gegen den Tabellenführer aus Amstetten um 18 Uhr. Und am Samstag gibt es auch was zu schauen in Hütteldorf. Da spielt unser Frauenteam um 14 Uhr am Trainingsgelände gegen den SV Kreik. Die kämpfen ja um den Titel und den Aufstieg in die oberste Liga. Coach, thanks a lot also for the education lesson for the young boys behind us. You make this better than I, you're dad. Mackie, vielen Dank fürs Zeitnehmen und wir sehen uns dann an dieser Stelle wieder nächste Woche. Dankeschön.